yes. What's going on? Always remember, folks, whatever you think about comes about. Whatever you focus on grows. So let's focus on this. This is a fractal pattern. The money flow pattern is fractals. Fractals, never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over again. Now, let's take technology right now, which is represented by the QQQ. As a trader, I like to play with the TQQ because you get a little more bang for your buck if that's what you're trying to do. Now, let's see. Hold on. Where are we at on YouTube, man? Come on, man. I hope everybody can hear me. If you're in the wealth, my friends in the Wealth Squad, I just published a podcast with me and my friend Michael Crow over there. Trader, options guru, movie star, man. He's on television shows, man. Instagram sensation. Often found shirtless, ladies. Catch that interview on Spotify. I want to show you one of the clearest money flow patterns. Anyway, if you hit, you know how to get there. Any of my links up there, you can get to the Money Flow Trading Society's podcast, Mastering the Trade. I try to bring on friends of mine, and then sometimes just my thoughts on trading. Now, great call on Chevron. Thanks, Vic. Gang. Man, so this here, let's save this. This here, say save, is technology, top 100 technology stocks. The QQQ is the ETF that makes these up. And most of the weighting is in the top 20, and in the top 20, most of it's in the top 10. Inside of that, top 2, 3. And it's kind of like Plato's, what is that? Plato's rule? Is it Plato rule? You know what I'm talking about. 20% do most of the work. And that's kind of the way ETFs are too. What you're seeing here, this is on a 1 hour chart. And so often I talk about the money flows fractal, meaning you can buy one share, you could buy 5, 10, 15, 20, 1,000, 10,000, $1 billion, or you could watch the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 30 minute, 15, 10, 1, down to 1 second. If you wanted to watch second by second, you could take in data, right, driven by recursion. Fractals are images of dynamic systems, and that's what this is. And the simplest way I know to describe it is like this. And when I learned it, all the old dudes were teaching it on a weekly chart. They'd be like, on a weekly chart, the S&P 500 is in one of 4 stages. And I'm like, okay, that's a long time though. Each bar's 1 week. So if you need a box, that's a month, man. That's a long damn time in trader land. And what I began to notice, well, it's the same on a 5 minute, 1 hour, or daily. And so daily became my benchmark. Daily became the anchor point. And so I would look to make anchor points on the daily. I'd look for boxes on the daily. I'd try to determine stages from the daily chart. That was my big epiphany. And this is on a 1 hour. And one thing I've been kind of dropping is what I used to like to do is this is right in here is where the anchor point was established. So if we were to go to the daily chart, let's go to the TQQ on the daily. What have we been seeing? Well, we've been seeing this box being built, and I'm not going to go through what all that is. You know what that is. I'm assuming you know some things today. And so we got this box that was built here. And, now price is pushing toward the top of the box, and it's above the 20-day. Would I call this a breakout? Nah, not really. We're still in the box. But inside the box, because we have a stage 1, we're assuming it's done going down. And so as I drop the time frame and I go down to the 1 hour, what am I looking for on the 1 hour? Well, I'm looking for breakouts, which is what? Defined as price ripping above the 20-day moving average, right? And when it rips above it, where am I looking for it to go? Well, I assume it's going to go where it stopped before. There's a little box, if you didn't notice that. And so on the way up, price stopped there. But let me draw your attention to here for a second. Notice where price stopped here. Where did it stop here? Price repeats itself. That doesn't mean you're going to know what's going to happen, but that's how you get support and resistance levels, is through the repetition of price. Easiest way to say this is price has memory. And as you begin to put these things together, you can tie it into however you trade your strategy trades. And one of the things I get asked all the time is, does this work with options? And it's such a weird question to me. The fact that you ask it tells me you shouldn't be trading options. The fact that you ask that means you need to go back a step. There's some fundamental things you don't understand. One of the things you'll see is my friend Michael Crow, when we talked on this recording that I got out there, just published on Spotify. He saw the money flow and then began immediately adding it to options. So he saw that it works with options. Why? Because he understands price movement is what works with options. And so, yes, there's other things with options to consider, a whole bunch of other shit. But in conjunction with that, we want to also consider price direction. What stage are we thinking in? The direction it might be going, right? There's no reason to get long a trade if you don't have any expectation of it going up. And then if you do, what's your target? Because trading's about getting in and getting out. And if you're position trading, well, just like the word implies, it's about building positions over time. Time times amount times yield. And in both of these scenarios, it's chaos that makes the confusion. And so a trade starts as a trade, a stop is ignored. Now, I'm a position trade. And then he goes lower and you're like, then I should have used up. And it's like, okay, decide. So if I want to trade, you could stay busy trading this. And I get sometimes people, well, I don't have time. Well, bullshit. You could just trade this one thing. And in the last 3 or 4, dude, we've had some serious action going here. Here's a stage 2 breakout. Probably could have took some down here. Why? Because it's making this pattern. And so as we watch this pattern unfold, we know into stage 3s, I need to downsize risk, right? So as I'm watching this play out and it's stopping where it stopped before, and then what happens? Breaks out again. Well, we didn't get out of the trade. Why? It didn't go into a stage 4 decline. It didn't do this, right? I just have less shares and it goes up. Good. We get to downsize it again. So by the time it goes down, I should have a hell of a lot less shares than I had over here. Especially if I was playing it tight and I'm catching it as it's pushing up on here. And the direction of this is coming because the daily says we're in a stage 1. And what do we know the stage 1 means? It means price has come down, price has stopped, it's put in an anchor point, and it started to go sideways. So now I drop down in time and I'm like, I want to trade this. It means you got to be nimble, man. We're getting in and out, right? So but we don't want to, if price wants to run, we let it run. So the way you do that is you scale in, you scale out, man. You scale in, you scale out. And guess what? Sometimes it's not going to give you such beautiful, this is kind of deceiving how easy this looks here, but it's not always going to do this. But how fast do you catch it? How fast do you notice something's money flowing? It needs to be fast, man. You can't outsource that, man. This cannot be outsourced. Theoretically, I guess there's people that could program a computer, but I don't need a computer. I got a phone. I look down and I say, okay, where's Delta? I don't need a fucking computer to tell me about Delta. I see the airplanes in the sky. I hit the button. And what? Does it look like it stopped dropping? Right? See it? So now what is this setting up? A trade, right? So if I want to trade it tight, what would I do? Well, we're on stage 1 now, right? Well, let's drop Delta down to the 1-hour chart. What do we see? Let's see. Let's go to Delta 1-hour chart. So we know, we believe we got a stage 1. We got an anchor point. We got to go to 1 hour. What are we looking for? Breakouts. So depending on the day, we call the anchor point. We come over here and let's try to pick the day here. I'm going to say July 4th or 5th, right around in here, right? All right, so now we go to a daily, or a 1-hour chart. Oh, look, right in here. See it? So there's July. So right around in here, we've declared on the daily chart an anchor point, right? So you see how investor, he's not dropping to, he doesn't need to drop down to this. He doesn't need to do this. He's not trading. It doesn't matter if it's 50 cents here, 50 cents there. It does matter if you're trading, especially if you're trading large volume. So what if you were buying 1,000 shares and your target's previous high, man, or the RSI, meaning you're going to pick them up, you're going to place a stop, and then you're going to let it go, you know? And look, you might have got stopped out over here. That's not much. Not much. Then it's back. So this is just whipsawing, man. This here. But I don't think I'm getting stopped out on this, but because, I mean, dude, that's exactly where it stopped before. But if we're in this, if we stay in this, we're your target's here, but then what happens? RSI goes extreme. What do we know? Once RSI goes extreme, price starts to go sideways. What do we know happens? Price pulls back, right? That's the pattern of price movement. The shorter we make this time frame, the quicker we got to be on that. Like, the quicker you got to be on that. As an investor, this is monkey simple. You're just following 20, 40 stocks. You put money in your account, and then you go look for stage ones. You add it to your portfolio. You let the shit compound. You let it grow. Like, that is not complicated, man. And everybody knows the top 20, 30, 40 stocks in America. That's easy. When we start getting down into, you want to swing trade these. Now, how am I going to notice? Being an investor, you're going to be specializing in stage ones, which means what? Shit, before the breakout comes. Before the traders, because you follow it. So then you could oh, cool. While I own that in my buy and hold, maybe I don't want to add, but maybe I do want to take a trade, and I could drop down to that 1 hour looking for the pattern to set up with what price is going to break out. And then the same thing, that is chipping. I'm looking to get in, looking to get out, man. Where are we at? Now what? This is the VIX. These are horrible things to play with. If you're playing with these, you have to stop immediately, unless you're a very experienced trader. But what I do want you to see is this. Do you see how the VIX moves? This is general pattern. Isn't that weird? It starts to get a little wacky here, but it's going down. And then what? See it going down now? Where do you think it'll probably stop? Right around in here? And then what? And then what? Something will happen, and maybe it goes sideways. So if you think about this is days. So what is that? 3 weeks sideways, and then what? 2 weeks sideways, and then what? A little over a week sideways, and then what? About a week sideways. And what is that? That's the chaos of price movement, man. People buying protection, people then selling it off. People buying protection, people then selling it off. People buying protection, people then selling it off. And so you notice, selling it off, buying protection, selling it off, buying protection. And you see that price? Doesn't that look a lot like that? It's emotion, man. So we know what these look like. And so as an investor in, let's say we're investing over time in Delta Airlines. These are all I want to buy, right? This is what I'm most interested in. Meaning I want to pick it up after it's come down, right? So I'm a buyer. If I'm trying to build the position, what am I doing there? I'm just bringing down my price point. And then it goes from 32 to 50 and then down. Well, this is on the daily chart. Well, look what Delta does. It puts in a stage one. That's here. It goes sideways. It breaks out. We already know that. We're following it. Hold on. Daily right here. Drifts up. This is our confirmation. We have a stage one. Here's our actual breakout. Where's our target? If I was trading it or wanted to trim it, previous high, bam, confirmation again, RSI. So as a trader, taking some down, out. I'm out. It's not about the fundamentals. It's not about how the fucking company's going to do. It's not about squeezing it for all the money you're going to get out of it. That's not what it's about. It's about getting in, pressing the trade, setting the target, collecting, getting out. Even if it kept going, that's not your business. So when you flip a house, you don't look it up in 2 years and go, oh man, it went up. No shit, that's what they do. That's not the game you're in when you're flipping. So if you're trading, you need to think of yourself as you're flipping. If you're investing, you're not. You're just buying down here, man. Same chart, same system, same strategy, same stocks, It's just your point of view, man. What size of a fractal pattern are you looking for? And how are you looking to use it? And I use all of the above. And again, it's not to know, like, I don't know the future. I have no idea where stocks are going. I have none. I just play my pattern. Let's see. Man, we got 71. We're doing all right, man. I'm glad we didn't get on Instagram. I feel better. If you got my new ebook, I have this little thing in there that I say to myself twice a day. I do say an actual variation of this, honestly, throughout the day. It says, I'm wealthy, I'm abundant, and I'm free. I'm free from the opinion of others. I only seek to compete with myself, not any man or anyone outside of his desire of me. I am one, and I am one with mankind. I seek to harm no one. It is the world who will assist me. Other people have my money, strangers, because I am their servant first. I know that money comes through serving others. Please bring more people for me to serve, to help. Their prosperity is my prosperity. I know not where they are or who they are, but I know they exist. I'm only looking for people who are looking for me. Please give me the proper wisdom to discern the good from the bad. I have nothing I need inside of me. I have everything I need inside of me to be all that I've been called to be. I'm grateful. Thank you. I try to say a variation of that. I don't want to say it's word for word. But I did challenge people who bought the ebook to try it for 45 days. It's near impossible. You will find that most human beings are weak. They cannot make themselves do the same thing. It's something new that you add consecutively. What's cool about that, though, is you gain great personal power. And I'm writing today about we dropped 20 people on me reading that. That's funny. So here we are. We see Delta Airlines breaking above the 20-day moving average. People are funny, man. We're pulling it. Looks set to rip, man. So if you're in it for a swing trade, I'm in it for a swing trade, and I'm in it in my buy and hold, and the target is around this 37, 38 area. We're going to respect the RSI, and also we're going where prices stopped before, so right around in there. Probably closer to there. So it's a $7 move, man. So we're trying to turn $3,000 into $3,700. Hopefully we could do that quickly. Now, a lot of people say we can't do that. I don't know. Oh, now we're back to 78. That is weird, dude. How do I read that? We dropped 20 people. I stop reading. It comes back up. What we have here is a failure to communicate. That's the breakdown of this trade in Delta. I was sure hoping it wasn't going to be brutal when they reported earnings. I've been pumping it up. That's where we're at, man. The fractal pattern, I think, is super important. If you want a short-term trade, and if you want to play at it, don't trade a bunch of shit, man. Trade a few things. And this is a good example. Once you catch a stage one, and this is the TQ. Let's say you want to trade. Just trade 1-2 things and trade that shit aggressively in a separate account. And it's like the only thing you're trading. Like, limit what you're doing. This is a different. Day traders can't do that. They got to find the action. They got to go look for the action because they got to make their money, and they may make a couple hundred a day, whatever. They got to keep banging. They got to keep earning. When we're sniping, when you're swing trade, I'm not doing that, man. I'm waiting for the trade to come to me. So I'm stalking animals like a lion sitting there. I'm just watching, or a hawk. I'm just waiting for them to mess up, man. I mean, I don't need to go stir the group up. I'm not running around that thing like a crazy person. I'm waiting for it to come to me. And so as I watch this, if I've decided, okay, I got my rules, I'm watching. I don't need to press it. I'm waiting. It's dropped to a 1 hour. And what I'm waiting for, right, is on this, once it's a stage one on the daily, okay, I assume it's a stage one here, I'm going to start to nibble. I'm going to try to buy, I'm going to add on the breakout. So I hope to already be in it, then I'm going to add on the breakout. So I'm hoping to be in here. I'm hoping to be in here, add on the breakout. I'm hoping to be in here, add on the breakout, which we've been doing. Let's see. Peter's report. I better have logged it. I log everything, man. I do this for me too, man. Not just, I've done this for years and years. I know I text it. They didn't put it on the log. I put that I was adding a 3M solo and bingo. So I've started adding to penny stocks again. I hadn't added in a long time. People keep asking me about it. I'm like, not yet. They keep asking, not yet, man. Not yet. Just because you're down in it don't mean you got to do something. Just because you're down doesn't mean anything. You wait. It may not be the right time. So if a company like Uber can't go up, you think of fucking and then all of a sudden biotechs have gotten hot. All right, well, let's keep an eye on that. Maybe there's a bunch more going to run, and we could still be in a downtrend on the stock market, and biotech stocks get hot. Penny stocks can run again very easily, but we got to see some bottoms, and then we got to see some breakouts. It's the momentum has got to change. You got to see a change in the movement, man. And so down to this, let's see, TQ. So when I'm doing this, if I want to trade, I'm catching these. And look, this trade lasted. I got in around the 18th, 19th. I added on the breakout on the 22nd. We're starting to take it down in the 27th. It starts to roll. And if you're real smooth, you want to get in, out, right? Well, no, not yet. Out, and then out. So by the time it rolls out, the more it's working and the obvious that it's rolling, just start pulling it back. 5 shares, 10 shares. Like you're easing in, you're easing out. And then you would repeat the same shit, man. Easing in, easing out, man. And you don't have to be all in, all out. And and if you're just trading this one thing, man, it makes a lot of this easier because you could have 2 stops. You're like, all right, if this turns immediately, I'm cutting it back in half and I'm placing a second stop down here so that if it does pull back, you own half as many. So you're giving it a little room, So a lot of that stuff, man, you just got to work that out around this pattern. And maybe you do it slightly different than me. It's not like I just show and teach what I do. And there's plenty of people who make more with the money flow than I do. And that probably confuses some people. Hope we got the right camera going. Yeah, man. Oh, man, I thought the Russians had just hacked me. Sorry about that. I love the stalking analogy. That's powerful. Yeah. And if you're new to trading, this is what I'd recommend. Don't sit around trying to pick a bunch of stocks, man. Stalk an index. The TQ is a good one. ARK is one. Let's look at if ARK's, pick some big things, man. These don't go to zero. UTSL is one. Look at these big sweeping movements. So if it's doing this on the daily, if this is happening on the daily chart, these big sweeping 3-month runs, well, when you get down to the 1 hour, this sets up for another trade because what looks like a little start of a stage 3, on the 1 hour starts to pull it down under the 20, and then you get some new breakouts and you get to ride it up again, So instead of one run, now you could do the same thing on the daily chart. If you're like, well, I don't even want to look at it on that way, you back it up, man. I'm just talking to people who want to be more aggressive. You don't need to run out and trade a bunch of crazy shit. You could have 3-4 things that you're just stalking. Like I always trade utilities. Since I started trading. This is a no-brainer, guys. This is the kind of shit you can take $100,000 positions if you got the money. I mean, it's not going to zero. There are always going to be electric companies. And when you buy the index, and now if you want to trade it, we could add risk, right? Which is the triple leverage, UTSL. And it's triple the movement. Now, this is pure trading shit. And so I'm only interested in start building a position on this on what? On big-ass pullbacks, right? And then what? I need to get out of it up on these big runs up. Now, not this one, but, and that's how I'm looking at it. And what I like about the UTSL, even if you caught me in it, all right, whatever, you got me. Maybe I didn't get out in time. Maybe I didn't get out here, and I'm like, I'm going to give it a day, and then it blew down to here. All right, I know what's going to happen. It's going fucking up, man. I've been watching this long enough. So then what? Remember, we're adding. It's going up. So the trade, what we thought was going to be over here, now turns into a trade over here, and you still make money. Or you had the discipline and you got out. Boom. Now you're setting it back up. Either way, these are still buying zones if you're trading, and this is still a target if you're trading. It's still the same thing. It's the money flow, right? But it's alive. It's organic. It's moving. So the pattern's being, it's playing out I'm just out of curiosity. Let's look at the 1 hour on that. I I'm using the daily on almost everything. Yeah, you had some breakout and runs. Ooh, they're tight though. They're tight. And this is the reason, look at this. When this goes green and you're trading, okay, I'm talking trading, or investing and you want profits, but limit how much you're doing that. These are tops. I mean, they're always tops. You expect it turns. It turns. Don't mean it can't keep going, but it turns. And when it turns, what you're looking for is this RSI pulls back. If it wants to run again, good. There's a breakout, right? So if I'm trading, boom, I'm in. There's my stop. What's my first target? RSI, what, hits it right in here, start taking it down, right up in here, I take it down. You might be, well, I'm only up $8. I'm only up $20. I'm only up $90. Okay, add 0. So instead of being up $8, you could have been up 80 or 800. So guys that are day trading big money, they're trading $250,000 in a position, putting a stop. So they're not making $8, they're making 800 on a 50-cent move, man. So it depends on your thing. So this move was from what? Our moves are a lot bigger. $35 runs up to 39. If you got 35,000 in this, you just made $4,000 and now you're downsizing the trade. Well, what? You got to get out. So you didn't actually make $4,000. So you took some off and now you're getting basically back at even. But there was a chunk of money made, right? And that game's being played through the grind of doing that over and over. And then every once in a while you catch this. And you're in it to catch it. So when you're in this to catch this, it makes up for the grinds here where you're getting stopped out maybe. But these runs that come, if you're not there, if you don't catch it, you're not in it. And so you're going to go through grinds, loss, little loss, in, out, loss. Oh, this market's fucked up. Oh, this market sucks. It's messed up. And then you don't take one and it tears for a $14 move, which would have made you positive on trading the month. So that's super important. Even on these short moves. So if you want to short the market, good. You do the opposite of everything I just said. So if we're looking at the SQ, right? Let's say you want to go short. Same thing, man. You're looking at the SQ. Then what? You're going to drop down to a 1-hour chart, man. What do you see? You're seeing these moves, man. So, and I ran through a lot of that quick and made it look easy, and it's not. But these principles, where it's been before, top, bottom, right? Top, bottom, top, bottom. So we keep drawing them out as we go forward. So we start right now, we got a bottom, right? So would I buy this? No. Well, this is an inverse. So, right, we got to think. So we would always look at the other chart to make the decisions on this one. Otherwise, you can really confuse yourself. But that's on a sell signal, which means the market is what? On a buy signal. So the TQ, the opposite of this, is on a buy signal. Now, if you're new, I wouldn't try to short. I just go to cash and wait. So if it goes bearish, starts going down, I'm just out. As far as my TQ position, if I'm trading it. If you're position trading it, just buy the stage 1 and sit down and take notes. If you're position trade, you buy stage 1, sit down, take notes. That's it, man. I hope you guys are doing okay. That's it, man. I'm going to wrap it up today. I got to do a one-on-one here in a minute. Got to help somebody out, man. We got to get their shit right. So you guys be good. Hey, I put my boot camp course on sale. If you don't got it, there's something wrong with you. That's all I know. There's something wrong with you, man. Hit the bio link, grab it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's 14 it's 14 segments, 150 pages. I know. Just read the first one. You'll be all right. And take your time with it. And it's like a crash course in swing trading, man. You guys be good.